everyone, it's Jay.
And Sean.
And we watch movies.
Yes, we do.
So, in a previous Disney Princess video, I had mentioned that somebody challenged me to elaborate on my Disney Princess opinions, because yes, I have a few. You may know by now that Belle is not my favorite.
We all do.
Yes. I mean, of course, I loved her as a kid because the yellow dress. Right. That's enough to love a princess.
And the Christmas dress.
But then you grow up and you're forced to watch this again with your grown-up eyes, and you're like, woo, okay. Problematic in a few ways. But actually, many of the Disney princesses, unfortunately, can be seen with a different lens now that we're a little older and wiser. So let me tell you some of my problems with these princesses.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, let's start with Ariel, who, okay, the Little Mermaid, I wanted to be her when I grew up. My mother tried to tell me that that was not likely and I should pick like a backup career.
To mermaid?
Yes. My mother was not supportive of me, and look what her lack of support did.
Yeah, it prevented you from following through on that dream.
Yeah. But okay, now I admit that Ariel was maybe not the greatest person to look up to, because she was basically the Paris Hilton of the sea. Let's call it what it is. She is a spoiled rich girl, extremely entitled.
She's got a whole treasure cave.
She does. She is the princess who has everything, including the things that are expressly forbidden, and she still wants more. So she already
literally,
has
that's the song,
everything.
Isn't it?
Yes. I mean, the song says she already has everything, and she still wants more. I mean, that's pretty incredible. That's right there. You know, every princess needs an I want song, and Ariel maybe just got greedy. She already had so much. A lot of these women start as, like, Cinderella was like a beloved daughter who fell to basically servant level and then got to be a princess. Ariel started out as a princess. And yeah, I'm sorry to say, King Triton, you got a hot bod, but I think you spoiled your daughter. You're not a great father. And nobody's calling her on it. She's super dumb. Oh my God, she's super dumb. Let's talk about Ursula. You know, she's one of my favorite villains because I think she's misunderstood. I think she's really just a really good businesswoman, and people couldn't take it. They weren't ready for a successful woman, I guess, in the undersea kingdom of, I forget what.
Atlantis?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Anyways, Ursula is a notorious bad guy. The king has gone out of his way to ban her from the kingdom. So it is understood by everyone in the kingdom that Ursula is a sea witch. We have deemed her a bad lady. We
don't trust
exiled her.
Don't make deals with her.
Exactly. And, you know, I'll be the first to admit, her deals are a little ruthless. I mean, they're good. She's good at her job. She gets what she wants. She knows what price to put on things to make them move.
Plays the angles, it's
true. And yet, despite all of these heavy warning signs, Ariel goes to her. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know how dumb you can possibly be. You had ample warning about this woman. And yet, there she goes. It's Atlantica, by the way, where they live.
Okay.
And I have to say, there must be a lot of people go missing from Atlantica, because there are a lot of poor, unfortunate souls that Ursula has.
True, yeah.
So we know there's a sea witch. We've banished her for being bad. She's taken a lot of poor, unfortunate souls. Is it a good idea to sign my name to this contract?
Probably get your sea lawyer to review it first.
Oh my gosh. You know, there's just... She signed a contract with a witch. Not a secret witch. You know, other movies, the witches has to like dress up.
Yeah,
So
pretend
you
to be an
don't
old lady
know
with
that
an
they're
apple.
witch. I'm a helpless, yeah. No, Ursula is super upfront about this, has got a garden of souls, which Ariel has to traverse to get to her, and still signs her name. Oh boy. Which, you know, fine. Also super dumb, she falls in love at first sight with a boy she's never even spoken to. Literally, she just observes him through a porthole on a ship for mere seconds. And all we know about this guy is he has a habit of falling off of boats. You know, it's not a lot to speak for him.
Isn't he also a dog owner?
Yes, he does have a dog named Max. Although I don't know that she could know for sure it's his.
Okay.
You know. So she knows nothing about him. He is the first human she's ever seen. She has not spoken to him, nothing, and yet she falls so desperately in love with him. She's willing to mutilate her body for him. She enters into a contract with a witch for him. What is your end game? Like, what did you think we're like? Come on. Oh my God, I can't. Just can't. I mean, mutilate your own body. I mean, you should never change a thing about yourself for a man. Not a darn thing. Certainly not if that is his prerequisite. Like, you can't even get in on the game unless you slit yourself.
In fairness, he didn't ask her to do that.
No, okay. But she feels like she has to do it. It's rough. It's really rough. We also know that she is tardy. She's always late. So she has no consideration for other people. She's disrespectful. She ruins her dad's big day. Like, this is the thing, you know, the big concert, the opening scene where she's going to be introduced to the whole kingdom. And she just ruins her dad's day, like, for no reason. This is how entitled she is. And leaves her sisters hanging. Like, that's kind of embarrassing. I think there's got to be a rule against that. All to go and trade away her voice, which in a relationship, let's just say that's a pretty big symbol of giving away your voice. When you've already given away your tail, this is a huge deal. And so she's with this guy, can't say a thing about herself. She just nods a lot and combs her hair with a fork just to prove she's into this. She's definitely a human. Don't think she's not. Immediately forgets that she can write. Moments before we see her sign a contract, and yet now she can't write, "Hey Eric, my name is Ariel." No, nothing. They have to just communicate via pauses and sighs. Like, it's why is this happening? I can't take this idiocy. She also is a terrible friend. I have to say, Flounder, you deserve better. Like, really, you're in a toxic relationship. She takes and takes and takes and gives nothing. She manipulates him into doing stuff, like doing naughty things that he can get in trouble with, but she makes him do it. She twists him into doing it. Oh, I don't like that at all. That makes me feel really sad for Flounder. Okay, also, yeah, she has no self-esteem. She's a poor friend. She's a poor daughter. She's really dumb. Puts the entire kingdom in danger. But 2 words here, guys. Puffy sleeves. As a little girl, you're really into this princess thing for the dresses. And when she, becomes a human, she shows up in this pink dress with the puffy sleeves.
You're disappointed.
It's really hard to forgive her after that. So she's dead to me. Bye, Ariel.
Bye, Ariel.
Now let's get into Belle.
Uh-oh.
Okay. First of all, we know Belle spends every morning walking through her village, singing a song out loud about how boring and provincial this life is and how much she looks down on all of her neighbors and friends. I mean,
that
friends.
is true.
Nobody wants to be your friend. She's mean.
Yeah.
You know, the song makes us feel like the villagers are judging her, and yet she is singing out loud to them every day about how horrible and boring and basic they are. No wonder you have no friends. Of course they're mean to you. You have been the meanest girl of all, Belle. And they tell us that right in the first 5 minutes of this movie, and then we forget it and pretend that she's wonderful.
Well, when she's away from the villagers and stops criticizing them.
And yet, still runs back to them to ask for a favor later.
Well,
Yeah.
she's entitled.
Oh, she's super judgmental. Also, she frequents a bookstore where she routinely treats as a library. She
True,
borrows
she
books from the bookstore. So, I mean, that just breaks my heart for the bookstore owner who, you know, his best customer refuses to pay.
I think that's a language issue.
What language, Sean?
No, she's just an English person in France.
Okay, well, I also speak French, so I don't know that they all speak English to her.
Yeah, I think
And she
the
just
signs are
badgers
in French.
him until he gives her a new book.
He does.
Yeah.
She does, that's true.
Then she gets to the castle. Oh boy. I mean, oh boy. There's lots of problems in the castle. Let's start with everybody's favorite scene, Be Our Guest.
Love that one.
Where, you know, these people are like, hey, how are you? We're so glad you're here. Let us provide for you. And she reciprocates by dipping her dirty fingers into all of the dishes as they go by. Yeah, Belle, you're an ugly double dipper and we know it. You're disgusting. Get some table manners. Get some table manners, girl. I mean, and then she, of course, judges the beast and his table manners, but we know the truth. So, okay, we all know she trades her life for her father's. Sure, trades her life. We all know that she's good for nothing. All she does is read and judge people. So she was as good as dead with her dad gone anyways. So in fact, she's gaining her life by at least now she'll be fed. She has no skills. She has no job. She has no way to support herself if her dad isn't there. This is really out of self-interest. So now she's gonna have a roof over her head no matter what, and she's gonna look like a hero for saving her dad, when really, she couldn't save herself.
You got her number.
Well, that's the thing, without her dad, she'd either have to marry Gaston, or prostitute her little hiney around France. So she did the thing where she could read all day.
Yeah, because the castle has an actual library.
That's right.
That was a big selling point.
Yeah, and lastly, let's just say she has no respect for privacy or personal boundaries. She is supposed to be the prisoner. She has now been given a run of an entire castle except
The West Wing.
That's right. There is just one forbidden place where just the beast wants that all for himself. It is his house. She is not a guest. She's supposed to be a prisoner. He's already let her out of that. And she just wants more and more. It's never enough for her. So not only did she trade up, she's taking over. So yeah, I really have no respect for Belle. Get out. Okay, Aurora. Oh boy, Aurora, you know what? You're actually so passive even in your own story. I have little to say to you except you are so boring and so vanilla that the reboot is named after someone else. We were like, you know what? We can't remake this story. It's actually really boring and it doesn't engage children at all. Let's talk about the villain, because there's a woman worth looking at.
Yeah, she's interesting.
Yes, and she actually has agency. You know, Aurora, all she had to do, the only thing in her whole princess life in which people cook for her and dress her and everything, she lived with fairies. She has a fairy tale life, literally.
Yeah.
The only thing anyone has ever asked for her in 16 years is to not prick her finger. To not prick her finger.
It seems like it would be something she
I
would
do that on an almost daily basis without being asked. She's got to just not do this one very small thing, and if that's your only task in your entire life, you could make a few things happen to ensure this.
You could wear a thimble.
That's right. You could. You could get some thick gloves. You could do a lot of things.
She failed. Jay would have
So-
succeeded.
I've literally went my whole life without pricking my finger on a spinning wheel.
Yeah.
You know, not that hard. It's very specific. It's such a specific request. You should be able to avoid it. And yet that is literally the only personality trait she has. The only thing we really know about her.
Is she pricked her finger?
Aurora. Okay. Now, Jasmine. Oh, Princess Jasmine. Who sits in her castle whining about her privilege. Which, you know, I'm sure the outside people would love to hear her complain about.
Well,
Her
at least
tough
she
life.
didn't go out and sing about it to
I'm
their
the
faces.
Sultan's daughter. Yes. So tough having the run of my lavish palace. Oh my goodness. I'm just showered with gifts by random men, and oh, it's so difficult. You know, okay, yeah, those people are starving. Literally starving and having their hands cut off for daring to steal a single loaf of bread. But that's what we know about her and her
Privilege.
So, okay, we can't blame her for the sheltered life she grew up in. And, you know, one day she decides to leave the castle to go, you know, look
Just
at poverty
explore the
porn, you know,
world,
just go see what life outside the gates. But the thing is, we know she's already old enough to get married. Why is she not old enough to have educated herself by now on what happens just down the road from her house?
What is money?
Yes. I feel like she should have been pushing for reform. You know, she is a valuable member of this royal family, and her dad is a bit of a pushover. So why,
Yes, that's true.
you know, come on, stick up for yourself, have a voice, use your platform. Don't just sit around whining and then be surprised by what happens out in the real world. Okay, also, guys, she is a tiger owner. She is in the same category as Carol Baskin. Okay, I know it's a harsh reality, but she is the Carol Baskin of her time.
Oh man.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm just.
Yeah.
She's got an apex predator for her pet. It's gonna eat someone's face off. Definitely, it's gonna
She
be one of
seems
the
okay
help.
with that.
Yes, she is okay. My gosh. Also, she gets catfished by Aladdin. Let's call it what it is. Okay. He pretends to be someone else. Poses as Prince Ali. She's met Aladdin just days before. princess. You meet so few people. You should have a better memory for them. And yet goes along with it. And even when she finds out the lie, she forgives him, I think, a little too quickly. There should have been a little more sleeping in the doghouse happening, a little more exchange of I'm sorry diamonds, you know, a Kobe Bryant or two in there. Nothing. She just, you know, a lot of her dad's potential suitors were a lot nicer to her than Aladdin was. So, and they were rich. I don't know what her problem is. So, you know, we do talk a lot of stuff about how Superman is able to hide his identity behind glasses or Batman with a cowl. But all Aladdin needed was a fancy hat. He didn't even hide his face.
No, he didn't.
And Jasmine was... So I think she's actually just blind to poor people.
Mm-hmm.
She does not recognize... She just can't see poor people. She just...
I think that's right.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Jasmine. I want to like you. I really do. But I don't. Cinderella. Should we do Cinderella?
Yes, we should do
classic
Cinderella.
princess.
Have to take it down.
But that girl's got no backbone. No self-respect at all. She is the pushover of her own movie. Come on. Like, these people move into your house. You know, flex those elbows a little bit. Stand your ground. It really, she just lets them take over.
She does, that's true.
You know. This is a classic problem that women have. Learn to say no. Say no. Obviously, your stepmother and stepsisters have learned that word.
Yes, they have.
They have a will. That's the thing. That's the really sad thing. Obviously, they have more balls than she does.
Yeah.
That's how you win, Cinderella. You don't just sit around washing their dishes because they're making you. Leave! What's your problem, girl?
Put them in the attic.
Ah, yes. And Cinderella, you know, obviously not a feminist. Woo. But her greatest wish is to attend a ball.
Yeah.
In the pursuit of a boy she met in the woods. And it's, you know, she goes from father to husband. She doesn't feel like she can strike out on her own, take care of herself.
She does not.
She's not going to leave a bad situation. She's just going to wait for another man to
rescue
save her. Yeah.
That is her only play here.
Mm-hmm. And she can't even make that happen for herself. Magic has to happen.
The fairy godmother.
The fairy godmother will have to, yes, intervene to help her out.
It's not a great lesson, you're right.
Oh, it's not. And her only wish is to get to this ball. Why? For Prince Charming? Prince Charming? Like, how more generic white guy can you get than Prince Charming? I have seen this guy. I am not impressed, okay? God. She just doesn't know anything about him except he's the prince.
He's a prince. He's got
Is
money.
she a gold digger?
Yeah, she clearly is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see her going out with any broke footmen.
In fairness, they can't rescue her from her situation.
Well, sure, all you have to do is leave. You know, she could at least be in a house where she's cooking and cleaning for herself.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on.
There we go.
I hear it's not that bad. Anyways, the only thing she hears about him is he's a prince, and that's enough for her to fall in love. And also, like, he doesn't know anything about her, including even her name. But let's definitely get married. Let's do this quick. I don't know. Like, she doesn't have any self-respect. It's sad. And yet, I don't even care because you're nothing to me, Cinderella.
Yeah.
Let's just say her only friends are animals for a reason. You know, because animals see the good in everyone.
They do.
And,
Of course, she didn't even have dogs. She had rats, mice.
she had mice, yeah. And she relies on them. They help her make things. Like, she doesn't accomplish anything for herself.
That's true. The mice do the sewing, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the first dress. That is right. I mean, birds help her get dressed in the morning. I have to say, it's pretty incredible. And the only thing she ever does to prove her worthiness is have the tiny dainty feet that fit the glass slipper. Which is a weird, like, that's a whole other thing that's extremely weird. But every other woman in the kingdom is shown to have too big of feet. So, like, I don't know if she did foot binding as a child or what. But that's the only thing that made her
special.
It's the only thing that proves her worth, is being able to fit into that shoe. So, hard to stand up for Cinderella. Yeah. Okay, Snow White. I hate to pick on Snow White. She's been through so much. But she takes candy from a stranger, guys. And there's literally a saying about that. It is almost the first thing we are taught as children. So what kind of idiot takes candy from a stranger? She is like...
In fairness, well, it's not even in fairness.
Yeah.
It wasn't even candy.
Exactly, an apple. You know what? I can see being tempted by a chocolate bar, but a piece of fruit? Come on! That's exactly the problem here, Sean. It's fruit! Fruit! My goodness! Like, at least have the self-respect to, like, be tempted by a steak or something. An apple? You just wait for they fall off trees. They literally just fall off trees. I can't believe it. And it's just such a cliche, going all the way back to the Garden of Eden. The stupid women who can't resist apples.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. That's an interesting thematic element, isn't it? Those apples.
Yeah.
I'm willing to throw away my life for a delicious apple.
And if that apple wasn't tempting enough, it's being proffered by a creepy old lady or a serpent. Stranger danger, Snow White. I'm sorry. Everything that comes after that is entirely your own fault. And I'm kind of mad that there aren't worse consequences. Because that's
she did get
so
off pretty
obvious.
easy.
Yes, exactly.
Of, oh no, she's paralyzed, and then the prince comes and kisses her.
Yeah.
Is it Cinderella that's in the glass? Or
no, that's Sleeping Beauty.
That's Sleeping Beauty. Okay. There's a lot of overlap in those two.
For sure. Yeah.
It's just, apple versus spinning wheel.
That's right. And then you just lay there and wait to be kissed. So their wedding nights are fun. Yeah. Anyways, princesses, blah. Who needs them? Give me a Vanellope any day.
She loves candy.
Yeah, but she's got her own candy.
She has a car made out of candy.
That's right. She's doing it for herself.
That is true. I think she did build that car, didn't she?
She built it with Ralph. Yeah. Her friend. She can just be friends with men. That's right. She doesn't have to play dead to get them to kiss her.
Well
anyways, I have some problems with the princesses, guys. Do you think I should overlook them? Am I making too much of it?
No, I don't think you're making too much of it.
Okay.
I think you can see the progression of Disney has realized that these are not great lessons.
But Belle and Ariel are...
They're fairly recent, that's true.
They are. They're from the Renaissance of Disney, but not the awakening. Princesses are not all they're cracked up to be. I'm glad. I mean, Disney's not getting away from princesses.
That's their
They
thing.
it is their thing, and they're merchandising powerhouses, so they cannot afford to get away from them. Even if some of them, you know, and they're classic. They can't give up on Cinderella, even though
No, her castle is kind of a centerpiece of Disney World.
her castle. I mean, why are we even calling it her castle? I'm pretty sure her husband, like, what happened to her? Did she kill her husband? How did she just got
Cinderella
married and
2
suddenly
or
now it's
3.
her castle? She just moved in. Okay, settle down. Boy, oh boy. I gotta say,
Maybe she did finally assert herself.
Sure. I bet having money turned her into a real
Into a real wicked stepmother.
oh boy. We better watch. Maybe we should watch those direct-to-video sequels just to.
Just to see the progression?
Anyways, that's what we have to say about princesses. No, I'm sorry, I won't drag you into this. That's what I have to say about princesses.
You can drag me in. I'm part of this.
I still fangirl about them when I'm in the parks. I still love them in theory, not so much in practice. But, you know, the yellow dress. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Bye.